Hey everybody, it's John Petrosky again, this time giving you an early look at Over the Reich 3.0. This is going to be a version that takes full advantage of the Nameless One's Test of Time patch project. Specifically, it's going to use the ranged attack K units that Grishnak and I implemented in Caesar's Gallic Wars. I'm going to use these and use them with air units instead, and it's really going to revolutionize, I think, the way that they're actually that they're used and the way that the game plays when it comes to air combat. One of the main problems with Civ2 has always been air combat. You had two different options, right? You had the range 1 fighter units that have to land each turn, so they really can't be intercepted and they can't hang around and fight. And you have range 2 bombers, which can move over the course of 2 turns, but as soon as they attack, their turn is over, right? And some designers, myself included, would give range 2 to fighters, which is all well and good. It lets them escort the bombers, but they have the same problem. Once they attack, their turn is over. They are a sitting duck. Okay? And that's not really what fighters are all about. I mean, they tend to be fast. They tend to make bounces out of the sun, and then they're gone before anybody knows it, right? So, with K units, you can kind of get there. You look at this interceptor. It's a FW-190. And it has 30 moves right now. If it's in position at the start of its turn, it can attack as many as 3 times. Okay, so we're going to hit K to call up some ammo. This ammo probably isn't going to destroy this bomber. It could do substantial damage. It could do a little bit of damage, but we'll see. It didn't do hardly any damage at all. We call up the ammo again. But there you go. So on the second attack, it actually made a dent. All right, and now the interceptor still has some movement points that they can use to leave, so they can reposition themselves. They can go somewhere where the escorts might not know exactly where to find them. So whatever P-51s or whatever these B-17s had, they don't know the unit's going to be there. It could be anywhere around here, and they have to go try to find it if they want to leave their bombers. Okay. So that's a little bit different. It gets you new kinds of gameplay in here because the fighters can press home the attack. Say for example, this is like the Schweinfurt raid, and you know that the bombers are well beyond the range of their escorts. Well, maybe you attack all 3 times and you finish off that bomber with that fighter. But maybe it's a situation where you really think you're going to run into allied fighters and you don't want to. So you just make a quick attack, you damage it somewhat, and you flee, and you let the next unit come in and try to finish it off. Now this also lets us have a little bit of diversity in the aircraft, right? Because like right here, this is a bomber destroyer. It's an ME-410. It's a heavy fighter. In this scenario, I'm just going with it having air-to-air rockets. It's more powerful generally than the 190 we just saw. It's more likely to damage the bomber, although with the firepower scheme I have, it's not totally tweaked yet, and it is a bit random. You might not kill it or damage it, but let's see what happens. I call it up. I fire it. In this case, it's substantially more damage, you can see, than what the 190's ammo did. But you'll also see it can't move anymore. The 410 is a sitting duck, because that's what heavy fighters were in the war. They were really good at taking down bombers, and they were in a lot of trouble if there were any escorts around. So you get these things in the right position. They might do more damage to the bombers, but they're sitting there vulnerable on the next turn to the fighters because they can't move. So different aircraft are going to have different speeds, and there's going to be a little different tactical level to this game that hasn't been seen before in air combat. And frankly, I think it's going to make it a lot of fun, because you're going to have a situation where the German player is going to need to figure out when they want to deploy their interceptors or not. Do they want to fly them up and kind of guess where they think the Allies are going based on radar, just so that they can intercept and have the opportunity to shoot 3 times? Or do they want to position themselves so that they can shoot once and then skedaddle? Lots of different cool options, and I think people are really going to like it once I get this one up and running.